Smothered hamburgers and homemade mashed potatoes is on the menu here at the Young's house, and I'm so excited to show you all how to make them taste juicy. They're going to be flavorful. The gravy's going to be finger licking good. You're going to love this recipe. If you've never tasted smothered hamburgers, this is for you. Here's what you're going to need. You're going to need just some ground meat. So whether you're using ground turkey or ground beef, either one will do. I'm using an 80-20 ground beef, and I've got about 1.5 pounds. Okay, so for our hamburgers today, we're going to be using an egg, just one large egg. We're going to put some breadcrumbs in it to make it nice and soft. We want that meat to be soft, light and airy. Okay, we're going to be making some mashed potatoes, and for my potatoes, I'm just going to use some milk, a garlic clove, salt, pepper, and some butter. Okay, I got a beautiful fresh garlic clove here. I got a nice onion, and I also have a really interesting ingredient. I have 1 can of cream of mushroom soup, and I have for our gravy the beef broth that we're going to need. If you don't have beef broth, it's okay. Use what kind of broth you have. And of course, here's my milk for my potatoes, and we have some seasoning here. I got salt and pepper, onion and garlic powder, some parsley flakes. Make sure your hands are clean. Let's make delicious smothered hamburgers in gravy that tastes absolutely amazing. You're gonna love. I hope you're having a good day. And if you're not, hopefully I can brighten up your day with this here recipe. What's the weather like? I wanna know what the weather is like where you are at, because it feels like it's been raining for a good 24 hours. And I'm talking about good pouring down rain. My goodness, let me hear from everybody. First things we're gonna do is let's go ahead and get started seasoning up this meat. Don't be afraid to season. When you're afraid to season, it ain't gonna have no flavor. We're gonna go in with some pepper, and I'm putting a nice amount in there for flavor, right? I'm doing some salt. If you can't use the salt, I always like to tell everybody, leave it out, it'll be okay, trust me. Okay, lovely. I'm gonna put a nice amount of onion and garlic powder in there on purpose. I want that flavor to shine through. And garlic powder, onion and garlic powder. Beautiful. So now here's what we're gonna do. This is interesting. We're cracking an egg, and we're putting 1 large egg into our meat. It's gonna make it nice and tender. Okay, it's right there, but we'll mix it in. And so I like to grab about 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs, whatever kind of breadcrumbs you want to use. It's going to be ultimate. Just trust me on that one. So let's just cover the top. Perfect. Go ahead and make up these hamburger patties and make them taste good. My grandmom always used to say, she was making a meatloaf one time, and she said, don't handle it too much. You handle it too much, the residual heat from your hands will heat the meat up and make it tough, right? So I'm always sure to just really get those seasonings blended into it and then make up the patty, right? And so that's what we're gonna do today. Medium size, whatever size patties you wanna do. I'm gonna do like a medium sized burger today. And make these patties up. What I like to do anytime I'm making a hamburger patty is I like to do something special so that the burger is not this thick. If there's one thing I can't stand is a burger that's this thick. It's like the worst, right? So here's what I do to prevent that. Because naturally when you go to cook it, it's gonna do like that. I put like a little dent. Put an indent in the middle, and it prevents it from getting that thick. So we're gonna make it the size that we're looking for, right? And then we'll put that little indent. We'll get it in the pan, turn on like a medium high. We want to get a nice crust onto it so it can remain nice and juicy. When you get a crust onto the outside, the inside's always going to be juicy. Let's get them into the pan and make several more. I need to make a lot of these because my family, they go wild over this recipe. And you will too. Go ahead and cut up some nice, beautiful onion. If you're making smothered hamburgers, you have to have onion. And there's even been times where I've put mushrooms in it. So if you like mushrooms, you can use mushrooms for this recipe. It's delicious. Absolutely it is. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to slice them, and then I'm going to grab a second pan, set it right here with a little bit of butter, and I want to saute the onions. I want to get them nice and kind of golden brown, and when you get that color, it brings out a nice, lovely, sweet taste to the onion. And that's what we're looking for this recipe. So let's go ahead and slice it just like so, quick and simple. There's absolutely nothing hard about this recipe. this recipe too. They're going to absolutely love it. So be sure to always make a nice amount. All right, lovely. So now that I have these onions nice and sliced down, let's grab our pan, put us some butter in it, and get it to cooking. Hamburgers are cooking up. The whole house smells absolutely amazing. Let's go ahead and get those onions right into this pan. Looks like I have about 2 tablespoons of butter. And what I like to do is when the onions are almost done, we're going to salt and pepper them to bump up the flavor to our recipe. One way to serve your smothered hamburgers, and that's alongside of homemade mashed potatoes. And so we're going to do it. I have a paring knife, and I'm just going to peel all these potatoes here. And what I like to do is I'm going to chop them down. I'm going to salt the cold water. I'm going to rinse these several times until I see that the water is running clear and it's not cloudy, okay? And then I'm going to put these into the cold water that has been salted. Cook them for about 25 minutes until they're nice and fork tender. And then I'm going to show you how to make fluffy, delicious mashed potatoes, Gina Young style. Get all these potatoes cut. So now, have you all ever tasted the instant potatoes? They're like, you just put them in the microwave. If you haven't, they are absolutely delicious. They come in a tub. You just take the cardboard off, you slide the cardboard off. You take the plastic off. You put it in the microwave, and it is so good. Now, Bob Evans makes one, and that's the kind that I would typically get. But I've also tasted the off-brands, and they taste absolutely amazing. So if you're that person that didn't want to take the time, you know, I know some of you are. You don't want to take the time to make the potatoes. Try those because they are definitely homemade, and they are spectacular. I've used them several times, and I love them. I know you will too. Go ahead and check in on these burgers. I can smell them. Oh, they are looking absolutely great. Okay, love for cooking up. Let's check in on this second half. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to let them cook longer until they get that char that I spoke about. These don't quite have it, but we're going to, let them cook until we get that, all right? Because that char is good flavor, and we're looking for that. I've rinsed off my potatoes like 3 times. They're sitting in cold water. We can go ahead and salt the water. Anytime we're making rice, potatoes, or noodles, you salt it to give it good flavor, okay? So I'm going to set this right here, but I'm going to do something really interesting for these potatoes. I got a fresh clove of garlic. I don't have the kind that comes in a jar that's packed in oil or water. I'm going to do the fresh kind, right? So I just hit the knife to get the skin off. Every time it'll take that skin off and you won't be peeling for days, right? Okay, so now that the skin is off, watch what we're going to do. We're literally just going to crush this clove just like that, and guess where it goes? Right into the salted water, and it's going to bring a lovely garlic flavor that you're going to always want in your mashed potatoes, guaranteed. As you can see, we already have some burgers from the other pan in our baking dish. You're going to need a baking dish. This is a 9 by 13 that I'm using. My hamburgers are done. Okay, and so we're going to take them and put them in here, and then we're going to cover them with these sauteed onions. If you did the mushrooms, great. You could do bell peppers with those onions. Like, really have fun with this recipe. Okay, it's okay that you pile the hamburgers on top of each other like this if you need to. Okay, so look at this. Inside of this pan, there's a whole lot of good flavor. We're going to use that flavor, and we're going to scrape it up into the gravy, and it's going to make our gravy taste spectacular. But for now, let's just move it aside, and we want to dress these onions that are beautiful. I'm going to salt and pepper them because they're done. All right, let's give them some flavor. It brings out a nice sweetness in the onion, believe it or not. Don't blink, because if you blink, you're going to miss how to make the gravy. I have some flour. Any kind of flour you love to use, you can use. I'm using just the all-purpose flour. Now, I didn't have quite enough oil in the pan, so you can see I added some oil. And on purpose, I added a nice amount of oil because I want a lot of gravy. If you don't use a lot of oil, you ain't going to get a lot of gravy, right? So if you're making a roux, you're using equal parts oil, equal parts flour, okay? I can just eyeball mine, but if you want to measure yours, absolutely is fine. At no time should this ever look like plaster. You just want to kind of get the two blended together, but I'm going to show you the consistency you're looking for. Okay, so this right here is what you're looking for. And on purpose, I'm scraping those little crunchy bits, all that flavor from the hamburgers, I'm scraping it into my roux so we can achieve that flavor that we're looking for. Okay, so now that we've done that, you gotta let the raw flavor from the flour cook off, and that takes about 3 to 4 minutes. And then we're gonna add in our broth. Don't worry, you'll know how much to put in, because when you put the broth or your water in, it'll begin to thicken up. And too thick is too thick, right? You're gonna keep stirring it until it gets gravy consistency. Potatoes are cooking up. They still have about 10 more minutes to go. Let's go ahead and start putting our broth in. When you put your broth in, or even your water, you're gonna stir, stir, stir. And when you're stirring, you're not getting any lumps. It's gonna be nice and smooth and velvety. Okay, so now it's thick, right? We know that's not the consistency we're looking for. Keep pouring your liquid in. Have gravy, but now we need to season it. It's perfect. It looks delicious. Look at that. Come on now. All right, so watch what I'm going to do. Here's where my flavor's coming from. A little bit of chicken bouillon. Chicken bouillon or beef bouillon, whichever you choose. I like to use the dried parsley flakes because it's gorgeous, right? Onion and garlic powder, a lot on purpose, right? It's never accident when you're using a lot of onion and garlic powder. Put a lot in there. Okay, so now watch me. I'm using 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. If you want to use cream of chicken, you can. Just mix it in there. 1 can. Let's go ahead and mix it up. And if you find it, don't make a mess like I did. If you find it to be a little too thick, just put you some water. Okay, it won't mess up anything. You may have to re-season if you're putting more liquid in, you know. So I'm looking at it and it is thick. Okay, so I add that liquid, and what we're gonna do, as soon as we get this cream of mushroom soup in, I'm gonna taste that thing and make sure it tastes good. And if it don't, I'm re-seasoning. We're gonna taste our gravy, and if it tastes spectacular, we're pouring it right on top of these hamburgers, and then guess what we do? Oh, we put it in the oven. It's perfect. Oh my goodness. All right, into the oven. Cover it with foil. Potatoes are done. They smell amazing. That fresh piece of garlic, keep it in there because you're gonna mash it right with the potatoes. Normally I wouldn't use this, but today I'm using it. Today I'm using this. I'm not breaking out the handheld mixer. We don't have to, right? They're still gonna be good. So we drained them very well. I put a little bit of parsley flakes on. I may use a little bit more, right? Let's go in with my salt. Okay, we're gonna put some black pepper. Oh yeah, and I'm using some butter here. Let's see, I've used about 3 to 4 tablespoons. See where that leads us. Lovely. And let's get to mashing. I'll put this warm milk in, just a tiny bit. I don't want them to be thin, you know. I want them to still have some oomph to milk. And I want the rest of that butter. Sure I do. I want it to be nice and rich. So these are just for me, these are just basic mashed potatoes. But y'all know, when I make my holiday potatoes, I'm using evaporated milk. A little bit of heavy whipping cream, right? We're doing the whole thing. But today is just a Wednesday. We ain't trying, you know. They're gonna be good, but they're not gonna be holiday mash, right? Go ahead and get our potatoes right into just a nice clean bowl and get it out of this pan here. They are gorgeous and they taste good. It's gonna go perfect with this meat. What you call a nice bowl of mashed potatoes. Let's taste it, y'all. That's it. Look at this. I know, it's done and it was so easy to make. Listen to me. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you ain't subscribed, what you waiting on? Tell your family and friends. Tell the world what Gina's doing every single day in this kitchen. And Father, on today, we thank you for this lovely meal. Your hedge of protection and your mercy. Amen. Listen, don't go nowhere because you're going to get to taste it. You might as well stay so we can plate this up. Let's do it. Let's do it together. How about 2 patties? I know you want 2, so let's just do 2. Oh, wait, are you kidding me? Look at that. Oh my goodness. And you want the onions, right? I'm gonna get you some onions. Yeah, I am. How's that? Potatoes. Who wants to taste? I know you want to taste it. I'm gonna give you some. I'm going right in for the cut like butter. Going right in for that burger. Oh my goodness. Luscious, and it is covered in gravy. I want an onion. Give me that onion, and then we're gonna pile on the mashed potatoes. Oh, it's hot. I know y'all want me to taste it. Let's do it. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. That's good. Mm.